I'm here in studio with Christopher Soulsby, a blues folk artist from up in Cleveland? Akron, okay. Yeah, so how you doing today, man?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
Oh, not too bad. So you're down in Akron?
Yep, down the Akron way.
Awesome. And how long have you been playing?
I've been playing guitar since I was 10, so about 41 years.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Not to be rude or anything, but you're probably one of the oldest guys I've ever had an interview in the studio here, which it's pretty cool. I mean, it just goes to show we have a lot to offer in, like, in the music scene in terms of Akron and Northeast Ohio in general. Like,
right, and I've seen a lot of changes in the Akron music scene over the years. I mean, it was popular, with groups like, places like the Ramones, the metal places, and, the groups like Fox, and then the country came big, and, there's been a lot of phases over the last 40 years, and a lot of things happening in Akron. But,
yeah, I feel like a lot of different genres have come out and have kind of transformed the scene to kind of what it is today, kind of mixing a different genres into the scene.
I mean, in the 80s, the Akron had a big punk scene and everything else, and so it was, it's a mix. It's really been a big mixing bowl of music for a long time. It's been pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. So, tell me how your music career began, just to start off the interview here. How'd you get into it?
I started playing a little bit when I was a kid, and never really did a whole lot with it. Just kind of, it was more of a hobby thing. And then probably about 10, 12 years ago, I got with a group of guys that we really just started, putting it out there a little bit. And I started writing more. And that's what really took it off for me was, I've been writing for a long time. I mean, I have songs that I wrote, 25 years ago, but my state of mind is different now, and just the music seems to really, I've let it come out, where it used to be kind of a forced thing. So,
yeah.
And now I just, like, when something comes to me, I just, like, pick up a pen and paper and start writing, like, right there, because I don't want to lose it anymore. So
yeah, that's awesome. Kind of, I feel like, especially musicians as they grow older, it's kind of like their styles kind of change in the way they play and the way they what's the word? Kind of produce their music, I guess. Kind of changes, and their mindsets kind of change in that regard. Right.
Yeah. It just it's I've had so many different musical influences. Growing up that. My music, I don't really call it blues, or I don't call it folk, or I don't. It's just kind of a mix of a lot of things.
Yeah.
If you like blues, you're going to hear blues. If you like country, you're going to hear some country in it.
Oh yeah, it's kind of your style, like
just what has developed over the last 10 or 12 years, and so that's what I've been putting out, and people seem to like it, and so I just keep doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Someone told me years ago, like, write music for you, what you feel, and put it out there, and other people will feel it. Don't try to write something that's like, some commercially viable thing, because that's somebody else's job to do commercially viable music, not an artist's job.
Yeah, it's not. It's really comes from the heart, and it's like, it's not like a company or something like that where there's really no bottom line. It's kind of like just comes from the soul,
Right.
So what were some of your influence growing up?
Well, I grew up in a house where my mom was rock and roll and my dad was country.
Okay.
Like hardcore both ways. So my influences are, everything from Johnny Paycheck and Waylon Jennings to Dr. Hook, the Eagles, Elvis Presley. My mom was a huge Elvis fan. And but I have to say, even with the Beatles Fest coming up here in Kent, I lived in a Rolling Stones house. We were a Rolling Stones house. Nice. I very much respect the Beatles' music and the writing, but we were a Stones house, and the Stones. You either tend to wander one direction. Or
there's never. I don't feel like there's. I feel like there's never an in between with. Usually, it's usually you listen to the Beatles or you listen to the Stones.
The Stones,
yeah.
Yeah, so I had all these crazy influences. And then, when I was 10 and I started learning guitar, my great-grandfather's brother, my great-great-uncle lived next door to me, and he was the one who started teaching me. And he had to be close to 90 when I was 10.
Wow.
But he could play any stringed instrument and by ear. And so there came the influence of the pre-war, pre-bluegrass, old traditional stuff, like John Henry and Tom Dooley and all this old, stuff that guys like the Dead picked up in the 60s and everybody else. But that's old traditional music.
It's all roots and songbooks and
yeah. And so there was all that too. So it was just all dumped on me, and then at some point the blender got turned on and
it kind of mixed together.
And what you end up with on what you find on my website and all my original stuff is just that.
Which is amazing, I may add. I was listening to it this morning.
Appreciate it.
On Reverb Nation.
So all that's
really
everything that's on Reverb Nation has all been done in my own home studio, and I've played every instrument on every song. So
wow.
I just keep refining and refining until I get what I want.
Oh yeah,
and I work out the parts that I want.
And it's cool too because you're doing it at home, and
right.
it's you're on your own. You're on your own time, and
yeah, and you can put your own ideas down, and you can do it again and again and again until you get it just right.
Oh yeah,
sit and write that piano part, even though I'm not a piano player. I'm a guitar player.
Yeah,
but I hear it. I don't read music, so I hear it. So
yeah.
I sit down and I work it out.
So did you say your brother's? Wait,
my great-grandfather's brother. My
okay.
Great-great-uncle.
Wow. So where'd you grow up at?
I grew up right up by Chapel Hill Mall.
Okay.
So where Independence and Buckholzer come together, there's the movie theater up there.
Okay.
So the neighborhood behind that, there's still a private street there that my family still owns, and all my grandmother and all her sisters and brothers all kind of lived in the same neighborhood, and it all stemmed from when my great-grandfather was alive, and they built this neighborhood during the Great Depression. And so it was kind of cool because he wasn't the only one that played music. My grandmother played the organ and the harmonica. My grandmother's sister June played the piano. My Uncle Henry, who was older than my Uncle George, if you can believe that, played the banjo. And Uncle McClellan played the fiddle. And
the whole family is
so they all they were all, it was all these older folks sitting around playing this pre-war bluegrass music, and
they all, I can imagine they all got together and played and
I meant to bring a photograph, but I couldn't find it, and it was from these three old men sitting on a porch over at a hunting camp in Pennsylvania with a fiddle, a banjo, and a guitar, and a little earthen jug at their feet, if you'd have known what I was talking about. And my dad was standing in front of that porch, and that picture was taken back in the early 50s.
Wow.
And so, unfortunately, my dad didn't get the music side. It skipped him, but I got it.
That's funny.
He said he couldn't tune the radio. But he used to enjoy sitting and listening to me play when he was still alive, so I appreciate that.
That's awesome, though. Wow. So just skipped a generation.
It skipped a generation somehow.
That's crazy. So, putting a genre on your music, though, you would consider yourself
a blues player. Right. I feel that blues root.
Oh, yeah.
I let my emotions come out in a song, regardless of what they are. A lot of times it's dark and it's...
hey.
But it's blues. I mean, it talks about real feelings. And
yeah. I mean, blues is just... It's what it is.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's people putting their feelings to a 1, 4, 5, and 12 bars.
maybe put a 2 in there somewhere.
maybe in the break. Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. Did you want to play a song to start off?
Sure.
To start off here?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Sure. The song I'm going to give a shot here is something I wrote several years back, and the song is called Home, and it's something that I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just realized that I had to put this song down on paper. It was in my head.
It was one of those songs that's just like...
I got up in the middle of the night, I wrote it all the words were down in like 10 minutes. I went back to bed, and I didn't put the music to it till about probably 3 or 4 years ago, but I wrote it about 8 or 10.
Wow.
So it's called Home, and it talks about what I consider home and something from my childhood. So
Okay.
Sometimes it's triggered by an old love song. Turn up the radio and sing along. Sometimes a story that someone tells takes me to a place I remember well. Seasons change and life, it goes on. When my mind takes me back home, there's no place I'd rather be than that old kitchen, just my mom and me, singing along to an Elvis song. When my mind takes me back home, the smell of fire on a cool night takes me to a place that just seems so right. Riding by that old fishing hole makes it seem not that long ago. Seasons change and life, it goes on. When my mind takes me back home, there's no place I'd rather be than that old front porch, just my dad and me, and picking me some old country song. When my mind takes me back home, there's nothing like an old country song to make my mind take me back home.
That's awesome. I can finally use this. There we go. I can finally use my clapping sound effect. That's awesome, though.
Thanks.
So I'm getting towards a kind of, is that about your childhood, kind of, or?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the Elvis song and the country song, and
kind of mixing together.
Kind of mixing together, and the fact that my mom was the rock and roll one, and the kitchen was kind of her place, and I don't mean that in a sexist way. It was just that my mom was Italian, and she loved to cook, and she loved to bake. And the kitchen was where we hung out, when it was the living room, front porch, or kitchen, or maybe in the back by the fire. But
it's a gathering area,
Sitting in the kitchen talking to my mom, or sitting on the front porch talking to my dad. Those are the two places where it seemed, when my mind takes me back, those are the places that I go when I think of each of my parents.
That's really cool, though.
That's what's special, I guess.
That's down to earth in a definition kind of way.
Right.
So do you write your chords first, or do you write your lyrics first, or?
Sometimes it goes either way. So sometimes I might find a chord progression that I like and noodle around with it and get the basics of it down and then write words to it. Like that song, I got up and wrote a bunch of words, like I said, in about 10 minutes, and then it was a little different cadence to it, so it took me a while to get the word or the music to that one, because it just
to resolve
the cadence and the timing and where everything needed to be. It took a while, so it just depends. It's I write however these songs choose to approach me.
Yeah, that's kind of a songwriter's way. What's your favorite topic to write about? Is that is there anything that like any topic that stands out that?
Well, being a sort of a blues and country writer, it always seems like there's something involved with some sort of relationship issue, or that my writing tends to be, I guess, at times dark. So it goes in that direction of like things like deceit and your typical, I guess, blues topics. I lost my girl, and or I went for and it could be just about the thoughts at the time. I might go for a walk, and it might come out where I went for a walk and what I was thinking about at the time, or just whatever. So I don't have one particular subject, I guess, that I focus on, so to speak, but I do like to kind of put it together and be able to make it tell a story of some sort.
Definitely. I feel like blues as a genre is of course traditional. You'll obviously have your traditional blues chords and even songs, but also usually I feel like when you're dealing with blues lyrically, the lyrics are general, but they have a deeper meaning within them, I feel like.
Right. And you don't always, you're not always going to put all the things that you're thinking just on the piece of paper as you're writing. It's more of a, how do you want to say that? More of a covert sort of...
Yeah, like a subtlety?
Yeah,
kinda. Trying to get fancy with it.
But yeah, you're thinking about this one thing that might have hurt, but how to put it in sort of a general... Like, it's not going to have, names and places.
Yeah, you're not going to be...
But it's going to be like, people are going to get, wow, there was something behind this.
Blues is very down to earth in that you don't call anybody out.
Right.
In blues, you may do it in a like a general way, but not like just not.
Yeah, blues kind of calls everybody out.
Yeah,
it kind of says, "Hey, if this shoe fits, if you feel like this is about you, probably."
Yeah.
And if it wasn't written about you,
then you'll know. You know, it's if it's going to be about you.
But you still know that it's right.
But it's not going to state it directly. It's
right.
gonna. Yeah,
right.
It's very in general in that manner.
Right.
So do you work with any other people or in a band of any sort?
We've had a band off and on for about the last 10 years called the Uptown Band.
Okay.
And so we've played. We haven't played as a band in probably 2 years. I've been kind of focusing on writing and some different stuff like that, and just trying to get some of the solo stuff that's in my head out. But we have been back together and rehearsing here lately, so I think we're probably going to do something coming up later this year.
That's
We're
awesome.
going to do some band shows versus just the solo shows to try to get back into that and sort of electrify more of my originals and kind of make them the way they are on the recorded versions on my Reverb Nation page and stuff like that.
I heard you were using kind of like a bongo conga type backtrack.
Yeah, well, I had a set of congas there in the studio, so that was recorded live.
Okay.
Over, just using a click track. Start with a click track and a basic track and start building upon it. And the nice part about multi-tracking software is that you can be like, I don't really like that guitar track.
Delete.
Yeah. Let me record another one and see how that sounds. And
it's really cool in that you could save tracks too and record over them, and you could do anything now, and it's really really convenient.
The electronics is so much better than working the old days with a Fostex 4-tracker and
cutting tape.
Or you'd get 4 tracks laid down one at a time, and then you would play them all to a single track, and then jump it back, and then 3 more tracks, and then jump it over and jump it back, and then I wouldn't have even begun to imagine how to master anything back 15, 20 years ago with tapes, and now they have software that you just like go,
it's ridiculous.
Master, it's done in 5 minutes, and it's like, oh, okay.
Click of a button.
Right.
But in some regards, that's kind of, the limitations kind of make the art back in the 60s and 70s. It's kind of...
It forced you to do more creative things.
Oh, definitely. And it has a vintage sound to it, kind of now, which people are in the production line of work, they're really looking after, because they want that sound back.
Right. So they're going back after it. Very
hipster people are selling records and doing cassette tapes and making mixtapes now, because I wouldn't say hipsters, but producers who want that sound, who want that grainy 70s, you know.
Right. Well,
sound.
You mentioned that. I'll throw a shout out to the Bad Dudes and the Bizarros, both from Akron, and they just did an album not too long ago called From Akron 2.
Okay.
And I went to the release party and bought it on vinyl,
nice.
Just to take it home basically and hang it on my wall, because I know the guys and it's like cool. It's a vinyl record made now.
Oh, yeah.
And they went to Cleveland and they pressed the records and they showed all the pictures of going through the production facility. So they did it the old way, and it's cool. And so, hey, Cal and all you guys, Trent and everybody, you guys did an awesome job. And it's cool to be from Akron.
Oh, yeah. It's a very cool scene. You can find anything and everything.
Yep.
And despite the weather... despite the weather,
right?
It's a really cool scene. So you mentioned the band before. You guys have been off and on for the past 10 years, you said?
About 10 years, yeah.
So were you doing any in any bands before that time, or?
Before that it was kind of just a hit or miss, and that was really during the period that I wasn't doing a lot of I wasn't getting out and playing and stuff like that. So. Every once in a while a jam, or I used to visit the old Brown Street Underground down in Akron, and back in the day when I was going to Akron, and I lived down by campus, and there was places down there, that would have these big jam parties and stuff.
Oh yeah, those are still going.
Yeah,
house parties are still.
They still are.
There's always going to be house parties. I feel like as long as there's music and people getting drunk.
Right.
That's
as far as like formalized bands, I just at that point in time hadn't been really involved with any of it. So it's been just the last 10, 12 years that I fell into this group of guys, and we started just jamming. And the next thing you know, we were 2 bands in. We started as the Bluescasters, and then we went to the Red Hot and Blues Band.
Oh, okay.
And then we came up with Uptown Down.
Uptown Down.
And Uptown Down kind of gives it it doesn't just fall into that blues genre. We were more of a blues/jam, widespread panic-ish sort of thing.
It has that slick feel to, like Uptown Down just sounds like a slick name.
And when you go uptown, you usually go uptown to get down.
Oh yeah.
So
you go back downtown. If you live downtown, you go uptown.
Right.
Which brings me to my next question. What's your bottom line favorite thing about playing music?
I like when I'm out playing somewhere and I just see that people are they're singing along, they're getting into it, they're enjoying the music, and to me it's like they're sharing my mood, and they're that's rewarding. Because they're enjoying themselves. And I know when I go to see bands and, I start getting into the groove of what they're playing, I'm enjoying myself. So as an entertainer, that's part of the reason I do it. I have a day job, so I entertain to be an entertainer and for the enjoyment and to share it with people.
Yeah.
Music's to be shared. It's like any other art. It's to be interpreted and shared.
Oh, definitely. Did you want to play another song?
Sure.
Why not?
Play another song? Why not?
Sweet.
So this song is one of those cryptic songs, so to speak.
Hidden message?
We'll call it a hidden message song. This song's called Painting Pictures, and I'll just let you all figure out on your own what this is about. Another door opens. So confused, my mind is a whirlwind. Nobody's right, everything's wrong. my bags and I'm up and gone. Looking at you with different types, I can see right through your skies. Some say it's better, and I say it ain't. But I ain't fooled by the picture you paint. You're painting pictures, telling lies. You got your story, your alibis. Mirror, mirror on the wall, it's gonna tell you that you're gonna fall. Looking at you from 3 miles high, I can see that it's time to fly. I can see you walking a real fine line. I can see you treading on thin ice. You're painting pictures and telling lies. You got your story, your alibi. Mirror, mirror on the wall, it's gonna tell you that you're gonna fall. It's gonna tell me that I'm gonna fall. Don't you tell me that I'm gonna fall. Painting pictures.
Yeah. That's a really deep one. Oh, I forgot. There we go. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. If we don't do it, then it's not,
Right.
not real. That's awesome. And yeah, I could really hear the hidden message in there.
Right.
And hopefully they could too.
It's deep and it's dark and it's along a path that most people wouldn't want to walk down.
Oh yeah, definitely. And those chords really kind of magnify that feeling.
Right.
It's those really minor.
Yeah.
Putting
it in a minor gives it that spooky sort of dark feeling.
I could really tell you put the seventh in there too, kind of add that zest kind of over that minor feeling.
Yeah, just to give it that, it gives it a bite that isn't, it's not a loud bark, but it definitely can bite.
Oh yeah,
and that's what I like about writing in minors is it brings that whole darkness out of a song.
Oh, definitely. So, do you you play blues? Do you deal with anything rock related or?
Yeah, as far as when I play like shows and I'm playing a lot of covers, I might play a 2 or 3 hour show at like a wine bar or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do, there's probably an hour, 45 minutes to an hour worth of originals in there, and then the rest of the show is all covers. Okay. And it'll be, it's everything from, the old traditional pre-bluegrass stuff like the Ballad of John Henry was written in the late 1800s, clear to today's music and rock, country,
and everything in between.
Everything in between. Stuff that's popular, stuff that people like but might not have heard for a long time.
Yeah, especially those old traditional ones.
Right, right. Like stuff like the Ballad of John Henry. There's only one other band out there that I had really ever heard anybody doing anything with, and that was Moreland and Arbuckle, and they were a blues band out of Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
And I saw them at a blues fest play that song, and they really ripped it up. And I was like, wow, okay, that's a different version of that. I like that. And then I started to do something with that because I was like, oh, that's cool. But there's just a lot of, like I said, I've got a lot of different influences. So I like to play a lot of different music. Here recently, I just picked up an old song and started playing it from, I think it's from the 70s. It was by Lou Reed and Velvet Underground. It's a song called Rock and Roll.
Okay.
Jenny said when she was just 5 years old,
okay,
nothing happening at all.
You're putting your kind of
and just putting my twist to it, so it's like a. Jenny said when she was just 5 years old, well, there's nothing happening at all. 2 TV sets and 2 Cadillac cars, well, the parents gonna be the death of us all. Then she started listening to New York station, couldn't believe what she heard at all. Started dancing to that fine, fine music, well, the soul was saved by rock and roll. That old Lou Reed thing. And I love Lou Reed.
You're putting your own twist on it. That's really cool, though.
And yeah, I've had a lot of other local musicians that I've played with. They've all said that to me. You always put your own twist and make a song your own. And so I take that as a huge compliment because I can sit down and learn a song note by note like it was on a record.
Oh yeah,
that's just not pleasing to me.
Yeah, especially when playing drums, I like a lot of times putting my own twist on things. Like I can't, like some songs I can, and if I have to, I will. But it's really just me letting myself express myself in that sort of way.
And if you're these guys that are doing these like tribute bands and stuff, people want to hear an Eagles tribute band play the solo the way it was.
Yeah.
Because that's why they're going to see an Eagles tribute band.
Yeah.
But when I'm playing an Eagles song, or I'm playing a Lou Reed song, or I'm playing anything, I'm like, I'm not in a tribute band.
Yeah.
I'm playing it, and I'm kind of making it my own. And I've had people tell me, a lot of other musicians, that they like that about me, that I'm not too far out to the left field where I'm like, really hacking it, but it's got a different flavor, and it's got something, and so, thanks guys for the compliments, because to me, that means a lot. It means that I'm interpreting the art the way I feel it.
Yeah.
Just like the Grateful Dead did, and all these other big jam bands that have played all these other covers, they've all interpreted it, and they've all made it their own.
Oh, yeah.
So
band after band, like generation after generation.
And but they're interpreting that art.
Oh yeah.
And so it's all my interpretation of their art.
So what's your favorite song or artist to cover, would you say?
Wow. Well, I like Southern rock music a lot, and I like country music a lot. So I just, I probably 2 of my favorite cover songs of all time are Willin' by Little Feat, which was written by Lowell George of Little Feat, but it was made really popular by Linda Ronstadt.
Okay.
And then Can't You See by Marshall Tucker is like a classic Southern rock song. And not a lot of people cover that song, surprisingly enough. There's a couple bands around that do, but you just don't hear it very much. And
great song.
I don't know if maybe it was because it was played so much, in the 80s and 90s, and then they got away from it. And then there's another male-written, female-made big song that I really like, and that's Angel from Montgomery. It was written by John Prine, but made really big by Bonnie Raitt.
Okay.
And so yeah, as far as, I would say those 3 songs are probably like, of all out of playing the music for the last, dozen years out. Those are always favorites, just because they're feel-good songs, and everybody can relate, and most everybody's heard them.
And you put your own twist on them.
And they all get my own twist little bit.
I feel like that's the best part of doing covers. As an artist, you get to put your own,
right,
little thing on it.
Yeah, kind of like your to switch the interview around a little bit, your set at High Arts Festival down in Akron last fall had, we were back-to-back sets.
Yeah.
And you had a very different twist to all the songs, but it was good because it was, it's unique. You're doing something that not a lot of people in the area are doing. So it was,
not to twist the interview around here, but but I do a lot of John Mayer songs. People have told me you don't sound anything like John Mayer, but I like the kind of stuff you're putting on it because it's kind of like a whole new thing almost because I'm honestly I've been compared to Bob Weir of Grateful Dead in terms of singing. And nothing close to John Mayer. So, it's really interesting when you get compliments like that. But it's really cool, too, because it's like, oh, this, it's a whole...
Right.
It can become a whole new song.
Yes.
In that regard.
It can.
So back to the interview here. You said before the show you're booking more shows now than you have, previous because you moved jobs?
I changed day jobs, and so I used to travel a lot for work, and so now that my normal day job is a normal day job. And we only have one factory that I go to and come home, and I don't have to travel all over the place, and so it gives me more of an opportunity to focus on the music and get some more of the stuff recorded that's that I've been playing, like the song "Home" that I played earlier hasn't been recorded.
Oh yeah.
So there's time to record more music and do more of that stuff.
For me personally, there's never, I feel like, enough time to do.
I know
stuff.
I know. I go to my studio sometimes a lot in the evenings, and intend to go out there for an hour or so, and I'm out there, 2 or 3 hours, and I come back in, and all the lights are out, and my wife's in bed, and and I'm
sorry.
like, well, sorry, I got carried away, and
it's always So
she supports my creativity a great deal. And,
that's awesome.
I thank her for that because my mind is just all over the place.
It's a canvas.
Between being an engineer and then having this whole music thing going on is just, I need to capture things as they come, and sometimes it's the most inopportune times, like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah. I've had that too. I've had times where I have had a dream that inspires me so much. I'm like, trying to remember the dream. I can't remember. I literally have dreams about songs that I don't remember hearing, and it's like, oh, am I going crazy or what?
Right.
But have you ever had inspiration happen when you're at work or something like that? Or?
Oh yeah. And I'll just I'm fortunate enough to have an office, and so I'll maybe run in and open up a Word doc and type a few lines or whatever comes to me, or open up my phone and recording app and blurt a few lines into it or something, just to try to capture that and because sometimes it's that one line that you think of and that can blossom into an entire song if you can just figure out how to put that one line to some sort of music. The rest of the song will just follow it. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
There's been times when I was driving, and I work as a delivery guy, and so I'm driving, and I come up, I'm just singing to myself, and I'm singing. I listen to a lot of jazz instrumentals and whatnot, and I'm just singing, and I come up with these 4 or 8 bars of just great lyrics, and then bam, they're gone.
Yep.
And I can't get them back, and it's like, what did I say? What did I do?
Right.
It's crazy. how that can just run through the mind and
then be gone, and you can't catch it.
Yeah,
it's
Then I'm like, maybe I'll remember it in 15 minutes or so. And it's like, nope.
15 days.
15 days. 15 months. Who knows?
Right.
But so you are performing more.
Right.
So I have to ask, what's your favorite places to play?
I like the small microbreweries and the little wine bars. Intimate settings. It's cool. The people are a lot of times they're there. They're more. It's more of a listening environment.
Oh yeah.
Than I mean back when we'd play the smoky bars and it was all loud and you're jamming and.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, now it's more. I find it enjoyable to play to. I say intimate places, but then like last year I got to be part of the opening jam for the Canton Blues Fest on the main stage, and so well,
very intimate.
So I'll sacrifice and get on up there.
Hey, I mean, anywhere. I mean, it's music.
It was awesome. So yeah, but I like the little shows. I like the.
Oh yeah.
I like where I can interact with people. I just played the Akron Home and Garden show last weekend.
Yeah.
It was nice. People were coming through and seeing the faces, and it's bright in there. You can see people that and everybody's so that was nice.
I have including you. I have a ton of friends who played that last what was it, Friday?
Yeah. Well, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's crazy.
So yeah. Dustin Michael put it all together for all of us, and the Lock Boys played after my set, and then Rachel Randolph from down in Canton Way, she played Sunday. She's a great young artist that's up and coming, and she's just gotten so good over the last couple of years, and she's playing a lot of shows, and so yeah, it was a good group of people that played there, and it was nice for the Home Builders Association to put up a stage and.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of an Akron-centric little area with Rubber City Clothing and Akron Honey Company. And so it was neat. It was cool. And,
gotta support.
And having all the Akron local musicians playing was a cool thing. Cool to be part of.
Yeah, that's awesome. So where are you set to play? Coming up soon. This Saturday night, I'm opening for Final Voyage at Lynn's Bar in Akron on Cog Falls Avenue. March 16th, I'll be playing the Substation in Wadsworth. They have good subs.
Do they? I haven't
have really
been
good
there.
Sandwiches.
I've been seeing where everybody. Yeah, and they're feeding me as part of my. Part of my deal. So
the owner there is really nice. They're really nice people out there.
So that's cool. That's what I've heard, and so I'm happy to be playing out there for them for the first time. And then coming up in June 8th, which is the second day of the Canton Blues Festival, I'll be at Grapes in a Glass that evening. So as the headliners are winding down outside, people can make their way on up. It's just a couple blocks from the main stage to Grapes and. Get in there. That's my next show at Grapes. They're great people as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I've got a few shows coming up there this year, August and November again as well. So
very good wine.
Yes,
very good wine.
Very good wine, and they keep the the beer in stock for.
Oh yeah.
And they have liquor now, and they're. I mean, how can you beat it? There's Tam's a master sommelier candidate, and they're And they do good things for the artists. They keep us working down in that Canton area and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, that whole Canton block
has gone crazy over the last couple of years. And Maslin's going to try to do something now too.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome though.
I don't know if you saw where Maslin's going to try to do a last Saturday thing. Huh. And they've got 10 venues on board already, and
that's awesome.
One of the music stores down there.
That's what they need.
And Maslin has helped put it all together, and so
that's cool. Cool. That's what they need down there, because I see Barberton does it, Canton does it.
Yeah.
I've seen Akron do it, but
once Akron gets their construction cleaned back up, I'm hoping that they do something else, because it's a mess down there.
Yeah,
there's been a couple places gone out of business already.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame, because Akron used to be like Canton.
Oh yeah.
With the music. Mm-hmm. And it faded away. Canton picked
Canton's
it up.
Kind of just
Canton picked it up strong. Canton picked it up really strong, and thank you, everybody in Canton who's done everything for all of us players for the last few years.
The business owners in Canton are, I think, one of the best in the state, if not the country, because it's these people are so down to earth. And I saw Buzzbin just got new owners too, and they're gonna do what all the other venues are gonna do, and doing a great job of it.
Right.
But yeah, that's really awesome. So what are some tips you would give to any person just learning or just just started gigging out?
If you're just learning, and you're just learning like any instrument, I've heard a lot of music teachers tell people, "Oh, you got to practice 2-3 hours a day," and if you're just learning, your patience isn't that. Your tolerance level to the pain, say, in playing guitars in your fingers or whatever, isn't that high. Just pick it up every day. Don't sit there for 2 or 3 hours and be frustrated. But pick it up for 15 minutes. Go over that song that you're working on 2 or 3 or 4 times, and then put it down. When you feel like you're getting a little bit tired or a little bit, put it down. Come back tomorrow. Come back in 4 hours. Come back in the afternoon and pick it up for another 15 minutes. Start with the small doses, because newer players will get frustrated with the mistakes and what I found over the years when I was younger is by doing it in small doses, say 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. I didn't make as many mistakes. I wasn't as frustrated, or when I came back to it the next day or 2 days later, I felt like I didn't make as many. I let myself rest. I let my brain rest. So your brain learns with one side and it performs with the other. And so once you get through sort of that beginning learning process, then you need to let the performance side take over. And I'm not really into that whole physiology. I don't remember which
neuroscience
right brain thing it is, but you consciously learn with one side of your brain and then you perform with the other. And so you just need to let the performance come out. And those who are just starting to gig and have gotten some practice, go to open mic nights, go to jam nights, hook up with the people, and if the people seem to be difficult to get along with and they give you a bad vibe, don't complain to everybody about it. Just go to another jam night, or if you met 1 or 2 people that you really felt connected to, ask them, hey, is there another jam night where I might fit in better, or is there another... Don't get discouraged by 1 or 2 people who would discourage anybody, as opposed to just, there's a lot of good people out there that have done so many good things for so many young musicians up and coming. And just keep at it, keep practicing, and go out and play your 3 songs at an open mic. I know you're going to be nervous. I still get nervous before shows.
Who doesn't?
I got nervous before coming in here today, and I'm just like, I know you.
There's nothing to be nervous about, Chris.
But it's one of those things where this is, you're in the public, and
you got 1,000 people tuning in right now to hear you.
Hey, and that's incredible. And thanks to each and every one of you for listening to this show today and supporting Davey's show, and because he's a local musician too and a student, and we all have our goals, and this guy does too, and so he's doing stuff for other musicians. So thank you.
Thank you. You're making some great blues out there, Chris.
Thank you.
So where can they find you at?
ReverbNation.com/Christopher Soulsby. Type in the whole name, Christopher Soulsby. It's a P-H-E-R. Or you can look up YouTube. There's plenty of videos up there. Facebook, Christopher Soulsby, ChristopherSoulmanSoulsby.com on the Facebook. So it's either my personal or my music page. Hook up with me. You can find me at any of those places. And once you get channeled into one, you'll get channeled into all of them. And there's original music. There's videos from the Ballads and Blues show that we just taped with Billy Smith Studios not long ago. There's all kinds of stuff up there on Reverb Nation. So, keep listening. Thank you for listening. Everybody who's been out there boosting me on the charts. Right now, I'm the #1 jam artist in the not only in the area here, but in the region. And
that's awesome.
So you guys have been playing my music. You've been going to my site. You've been helping me out. I've been getting up there in the rankings. and I'm sure that's helping me get bookings as well. So thanks to everybody who makes it possible for me to do what I do, and that's the fans.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're making great music. And I saw some of your songs were remastered. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So some of them were just I wanted to leave the old versions up on Reverb because when you take them down, they take away all your stats and your plays and all your stuff for them. That doesn't remain.
Yeah.
So I left them up there. The remastered songs are the stuff that I just ran through the new mastering software that really brought out a lot in them, and so all new songs from now on will all be run through that new software. But it really helps because I'm not an audio engineer. I'm just a guitar player that's learned how to use GarageBand.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we're in an age now that you can get up and do it, and it sounds great. So, yeah.
Thanks.
We got Christopher Soulsby in the studio today.
Thank you, Davey.
Thank you, sir, for coming in.